right, guys. 18th team in the best 23 for 2026 series. Was really weighing up whether to do this one at all. As you can see with that clip earlier, Hawthorn not my favourite team on earth. Safe to say they duck for free kicks a bit. Hopefully this new rule that they're bringing in this year stops them doing that, and I really hope that they change their game style. It's been pretty poor last 2-3 years. It's pretty tough to watch, much like my channel. But yeah, just ducking under free kicks constantly is just painful to watch as a neutral supporter. Anyway, let's get stuck into it. I'm going to start full back, same as always, up to full forward, get some bench emergency, and then remaining list. Full back, we'll go on Tom Barras, former West Coast player, okay, number 37, 30 years old, 10 touches a game. You can see he was top 14 in the league for spoils. He was top 14 in the league for 1%ers with 6.6, 126 metres gained, 9.1 rating points. For back pocket, I've gone with Josh Battle, another recruit, this time from St Kilda, 27 years old. They got 26 games out of him last season. About the same height as Barras. Actually, Barras is 4 centimetres taller. Okay, 92.5 centimetres. He's not involved in Mitchell's rotations too often. 2.3 one-on-one contests, 3.91 percenters, and 2.8 spoils. It gets a bit more meters gained than Barras. Barras's games is more spoil. Battle can be a bit more of a distributor outside of the back 50. Okay, other back pocket is Hardwick. Bit of a utility kind of player, can play pretty much anywhere. Pick 44 of the 2015 draft. They've got a great return out of him for that. 29 years old. Again, doesn't come off the ground too often. Puts in these little badges here. The bronze one indicates top 50, the silver one indicates top 20, and the gold one indicates top 10. Okay, we'll have a quick look at the draft pick, just see how much value Hawthorn have got out of that. Look at that. So one of the best picks of the draft for Hawthorn for Hardwick. You can see here he's played 198 games. The most out of anyone in the 2015 national draft was 205. Wiedering was the first pick in that draft. He's played 204. Clayton Oliver's pick 4. He paid 205. But you can see Hardwick at 198. All these guys here were taken a long time before Hardwick and played a lot less games. In some instances, Tom today, 83 games. Hardwick's played 198, so that's the equivalent of like 5 or 6 seasons worth of football. A great pick, great return for them, for the Hawks there. Actually, this line's not too bad as far as ducking. Hardwick's not too bad. Barras and Battle definitely don't do it, but as we move through the rest of the field, you know who I'm talking about. I won't harp onto it too much. I think I've done enough of that. Sicily, Captain Sicily, number 6, pick 56 of the 2013 national draft, 31 years old. Here you can see he's got those silver traits that put him in the top 20. 19th in the league for marks, 6.7 per game. 2.9 intercepts, just puts him just outside the top 10, and 2 one-on-one contests. Obviously an elite kick. Great player. I've always had trouble taking him seriously when he tried to take on John Brown as like a young 18, 19-year-old. You're like, John Brown was a bit of the enforcer of the league, the big, scary centre-half forward at the time, and Sicily's trying to front up to him as like a skinny 18, 19-year-old. It's a bit tough taking him seriously from then on in, but he's developed into quite a good player. Pick 21 in the national draft, Jarman Impey, coming in from Port. Once upon a time, 24 games from him, 19.3 touches per game, 8.7 rating points. No elite traits that put him in the top 50, but a very handy player. He's going to provide a lot of dash, 379 metres gained. Okay, and Josh Weddle signed on to 2030. That's incorrect. They did get games out of him last season. 16 touches per game, 10.7 rating points, bit of a swingman, can play anywhere. I think he's going to be one of the elite players. It's a bit of a shame Essendon didn't get him with that big contract they offered. As far as all-Australian players, Battle and Sicily have earned all-Australian jackets. Sicily in 2023. Battle in 2025. It's actually surprising that Barras has not won one yet. I would say it's kind of a matter of time, but not quite. He is getting on now, 30, but he's still definitely one of the top, say, 5 or 10 defenders in the league. Okay, so for wingers, I've gone with Carl Amon coming across from Port. Again, 30 years old. He's got some gold traits, 17 kicks per game, ranks him 10th in the league, and 596 metres gained, ranks him 5th in the league. He does just link up those chains pretty well for Hawthorn. 24 touches, puts him in the top 50 as well, and 9.3 defensive half pressure. 2.1 tackles, and only 5 goals for the season. The other wing, I've gone with Massimo D'Ambrosio, 22 years old, 26 games out of him last season. 66 games into his career, didn't really get much of a run at Hawthorn. His time on ground you would expect to come up, 8.2 rating points. I thought that would be a little bit higher as well, 380 metres gained. Okay, so next I've gone into the engine room. We've gone with Lloyd Meek, former Fremantle player, 27 years old. They got 25 games out of him. So a lot of these Hawthorn players have had a good run with continuity. They got a really good, lucky run with injury last year. They have been hit with Will Day already this year. We'll see how the whole list manages it throughout the season. 37.9 hitouts per game. That puts him in the top 3 in the league. And he wins his fair share of clearances, 1.6. His hitout percentage is 45%, which puts him in the top 13 ruckman in the league. He's 203 centimetres. Okay, next I've gone with Connor Nash, Category B sign-on, signed on to 2029, 18 touches per game, 5.6 tackles. That's where his value is in the guts here. 4.7 clearances as well. 1.4 of those are centre clearances, 9 rating points. Okay. Next, I've gone with Jai Newcomb, elite player, pick 2 of the mid-season rookie draft in 2021. We'll have a quick look at that in a moment. 2.7 centre clearances, had those elite final games as well. Ranks him 8th for the centre clearances, 6.2 overall clearances, ranks him 15th. As you can see, a great pickup for that mid-season rookie draft, by far the best pick of that draft. Only 8 players remaining of that. The other handy player of that pick was Sam Durham, and Peatling's played a few games as well. At the back here, you got Cooper Sharman, Daniel Turner, Jordan. Actually, they're all pretty handy for the investment they've put on. Okay, and Will Day, I know he's not going to be starting for a good chunk of the season, but this series is based around assumptions that pretty much everyone's healthy. Okay, and Will Day is their best midfielder. They're really going to start missing him and Warple this year, in my opinion. I think their midfield depth runs a bit thin. That's been well documented by every bloody expert going around. 15.2 rating points. He only played 6 games of them, but when he did play, it was pretty handy. Ranks him 20th in the league, 5.2 clearances and 1.5 centre clearances. We'll have a quick look on the list makeup. There's your midfield and defence for the Hawks at the moment. Okay, we'll just do a quick run down of what we're looking at. So you got one player under 21. That's Weddle. He's 21 on the money. Yep. So you got another 3 players in the younger years of their prime football years, so 22 to 25. Ambrosio, Day, and Newcomb. 4 players on the older side of the prime football years, and you got 4 old boys hanging on. Eamon, Impey, Sicily, and Barras. They're going to want to start looking at getting a premiership out of these 4 players in the next 2-3 years. Otherwise, they're going to have to start looking at some turnover. The experience game is going to tell you similar. The old boys have played 150 plus. These 4 have played under 100, but more than 50. No one's played under 50 games in this backline or midfield. Okay, your contract cliffs. You got Newcomb signed on forever. Weddle and Battle are signed on to 2030. You got Meek and Nash. So everyone's signed on for a while. The ones in the gun for Tassie Devils are Day, Sicily, and Eamon. You'd expect Day to sign an extension this year. Sicily, because of his age, is probably going to be on 1 or 2 year prove-it deals after that 2027 one expires. As captain of the club, I wouldn't expect him to leave anyway, even if Tassie threw money at him. Same with Eamon. We'll see what they want to throw at a 32-year-old at the time. 2 players in the top 10. Obviously, Newcomb was a mid-season rookie, and Ambrosio was a mid-season rookie of the following year. That was actually an Essendon pick back in the day. Okay, 3 players went after the top 10. Day, Weddle, Impey, and Battle, Barras, Hardwick back into the second round. 9 players taken in the national draft, 2 players taken in the rookie draft, 1 Category B sign-on. Okay. As far as height goes, you got two guys under 180 centimeters. They can play that small defender, small forward type of role. Only one player over 2 meters playing that ruck role. Everyone else is in that main midfielder size, 180 to 2 meters. These ones between 190 and 199 centimeters can play a key defensive or key forward role if they wanted to. Okay, let's get back into it. So next I've gone with the centre half forward position. Mitch Lewis for centre half forward. He did play 8 games. This is incorrect stat here. I just went back and checked it. 199 centimetres. I just feel he's got a bit more aerial presence than Mabil Chol. And Chol can go missing a fair bit. Lewis hasn't really had a good run of it with injuries. Only 78 games. He's 27 years old. Picked 76 at the 2016 national draft. Have a quick look at how that draft fared. You can see he has played quite a few less games than everyone else. There's only a handful of players that have played less. Setterfield's not there, but Brodie's barely had a game. Elliot Himmelberg, Lewis Young. Everyone else of that draft has played a fair bit more than Lewis. Okay, half forward flank. I've gone with Jack Ginnivan, former Collingwood player. 25 games out of him last season. 90 games into his career, 185 centimetres, pick 13 of a 2020 rookie draft, 30 goals, puts him in the top 50 this year, 42nd in the Coleman, okay, 9.8 rating points, 277.9 metres gain. I thought his tackles inside the forward 50 should be a bit higher, 0.6. You probably want to bump that up to 1.5, 5.6 score involvements as well. Can go missing, but can turn it on when he wants to as well. And for the other half forward flank, I've gone with that fella you saw at the start, ducking 5 times in a single quarter. Dylan Moore, 19.4 touches, 126 games. Overall, 26 games last season, All-Australian jacket in 2024. Pretty elite player, 11.6 rating points, 256.8 metres gained. One tackle inside the forward 50, couldn't put him too far outside that top 50 in the league. Probably just wants to bump that up a little bit and maybe stand up a bit taller in some tackles next year, hopefully. I think a lot of those ones you saw earlier are going to be deemed to be prior under the new rule system, but we will see. I'm praying that's the case, just for my eyeballs' sake. And then Kalshi Deer, father-son, father Paul Deer, 20 years old, 9 games out of him last season. Pick 56 the 2023 national draft, 7.3 goal possessions per game, 10 goals over the course of the season. Wins his one-on-one contest at 2.2, which puts him in the top 30 in the league, and he gets his marks inside the forward 50 at 42nd in the league. Okay, that time on ground expected that all players to be bumped up to 80 to 80.85 due to not having a sub this year, and obviously if he doesn't come off early with an injury as well. Connor McDonald, 23 years old, 24 games out of him last season, picked 26 to 21 national draft. Rude hairstyle, 24 goals, 1 goal per game. Okay, 1.2 tackles inside 450. This is where his real value is. These things are like gold. As you can see, 1.2 tackles gets you right into the top 50 in the league. Ranks him 40th, in fact. Okay, the best in the league at that particular stat is Paul Curtis at 2.8. Okay, Lockie Schultz at 2.1. So he still only needs an extra tackle a game in that forward 50 to be the best in the comp. So he's not too far off. Okay, and then Jack Gunston, pretty handy player. You can see here he's had a bit of a journey. Started off at Adelaide, then went to Hawthorn for his first stint, spent a good 5 to 10 years there, then spent maybe 2 to 3 years at Brizzy, and another few years at Hawthorn. Okay, all Australian jackets earned in 2018 and 2025, so 7-year break between the two. Was last year, as you can see here, his gold traits indicate as such. 74 goals last season, ranks him second in the Coleman, 3.2 goals per game. 2.3 marks in the league, ranks him first in the comp, and 3.3 marks inside the forward 50 ranks him second in the comp. Okay, score involvements ranks him 5th as well. So there's only 4 players that get more score involvements than Jack Gunston. Where are we? Bontempelli, Richards, Dacos, and Cameron. So he's in absolute elite territory there. Okay, so there's your 18, starting 18 for the Hawthorn Hawks. Okay, next we're going to move into some bench spots. You'll find that there's been a few unlucky players a lot of these players could be interchangeable. We'll have a quick look at the makeup here. 2 players under 21, 5 players in the younger years of their prime, 6 years in the older years of their prime, 5 old boys hanging on. 6 guys have got 150 games worth of experience. Your most tenured player is going to be Newcomb, who's signed on to 2032. 5 players need to get signed on or extended this year. 4 players under threat with the Tassie Devils coming in 2027. Okay, 2 players, only 2 players in the top 10, and both of those were not national draft players. So it's quite impressive with how Hawthorn have built this list, considering they're not taking them from the early top end talent of each draft pool. Okay, 14 players taken in the national draft, but as I explained earlier, none of these are top 10 picks. Okay, 1 father-son in Kayo. 3 players under 180 centimeters, Moore, Ambrosio, and Impey. 1 ruckman with no backup just yet. Okay, next we're going to go with Ward. I would easily swap Ward with Day, and that would be your starting centre square. With Day out, but 22 years old, 25 games out of him last season, 20.6 possessions. Okay, no real elite traits that put him in the top 50, but he's not far off in all of them. 11.5 rating points is still very, very high. Let me just return him back to his initial spot. Okay, so Ward's going to be the next man up, but we know Day's injured, so that will really be the starting 4. Okay, Watson, the less I say about this dude, the better. Pick 5 of the national draft. 20 years old, 25 games out of him last season, 35 top 50 of the league, actually 32nd in the Coleman. Okay. I thought his tackles inside the forward 50 be bit higher. Rating points 9.9, and time on ground will probably come up a little bit this season as well. Scrimshaw coming in from Gold Coast once upon a time, 27 years old, 194 centimetres, was an early draft pick 7 of the national draft in 2016, 2.2 intercepts, 201 metres gained. Okay, and then I've gone with McGuinness, father-son to Scott McGuinness, 25 years old, pick 29 of the 2019 national draft. Played 13 games last season, no real elite traits yet, only 4 goals. Okay, marks on the lead are pretty small, 0.1, no clearances, not too many inside tackles. Probably this is the luckiest guy on the starting lineup. You could put McKenzie or someone like that, Marby or Chol, as a next man up, but this is the makeup I've gone with. And then Harry Morrison, pick 74 of the national draft, played 20 games last season. He's out of contract this year. 17.4 touches, 81.3% time on ground, 260 metres gained. Okay, so there's your best 23, in my opinion, for the Hawthorn Hawks. I did spend a bit more time on other teams. This is one of the ones I spent least, as they are my least favourite footy team at the moment with the style of football they play. Okay, let's go into the best 23, get that filter up. So 365.3 disposals, which puts them higher than the league average of 344. 114.2 goals is 2 goals better than the league average. So that would indicate that they're going to be a top 6, top 5 team this year. 61.3 tackles over the league average of 56.9. 88.8, that's a pretty lucky number, that one. In marks, 85.3 is the league average. 37.9 hitouts. Obviously, that's all Lloyd Meek. No real ruck backup here yet. I've gone just the one player over 200 centimetres. These guys would be the next man up. Maybe Deer, 195 would be your next ruckman up. Weddle maybe at a push, like he's got that athleticism, but he's still going to be giving away about 10 centimetres worth of height to everyone else. Okay, so, clearances 35.6 is a little low than everyone else. Okay, 3 players in the younger years, under 21, 7 players in the youthful side of the prime footy years, 8 players on the older side of that, and 5 old boys hanging on. 6 players have played over 150 games. I've gone over the tenured players, Newcomb being the most tenured players, signed on forever, and these guys here need to be extended this year or they're out of contract. Okay, draft investment, top 10 picks. These 5, as I said before, Newcomb and Ambrosio were rookie drafts. Ward was pick 7 of the 2021 national draft. Watson was pick 5 of the 2023, and Scrimshaw was pick 7 of the 2016. Okay, 19 out of the 23 have come from the initial national draft. So as as is always every year, the national draft is the most important year for building your list up. 2 father sons in Deere and McGuinness. Okay, 4 short fellas in Impey, D'Ambrosio, Moore, and Watson. 1 tall fella, 9 who could play key positions, and 9 midfield type position players. Okay, let's get stuck into the next man up. McGuinness and Morrison are probably the most luckiest to find their way onto the best 23. These guys are the next man up. Mauricio Chol, 200 centimetres. He could obviously play that ruck backup. Once upon a time played for Richmond. 24 games out of him. So he's obviously Mitchell's preferred option. I just prefer Lewis's athleticism and Mauricio Chol. He goes missing at times, which is frustrating. 43 goals puts him in the top 17 in the Coleman. Marks on the lead 1. Marks inside the forward 52 per game. That ranks him 25th. Wins his fair share of one-on-one contests. So his stats are actually a little bit better than Lewis's and Deer's. It's just this list makeup. I prefer the other two. Okay. What was that? The hit-out percentage was 33.3. So that puts him in the top 37. Not exactly great. It's probably a backup ruckman at best, which is what he would be. Meek's going to be the number 1 call. Mackenzie, another early draft pick, starting to come on. 46 games into his career, 16.5 touches. Okay, that 2025 game stat is wrong. I'll need to fix that up at some point. 8.3 rating points. Very lucky. Could easily be here for McGuinness or something like that. Okay, and Ned Reeves, 210 centimetres. Gigantor, 43 games into his career. He's got some goal traits in his one game that he did play. He got 34 hitouts, which would rank him 7th in the league. No turnovers. You don't read into that. No clangers, especially when you've only played one game. 42% hitout percentage win. Ranks him 21st. Okay, so there's your best 23 plus your emergencies. Next, we're going to get into the further list depth, rookies, things like that. Okay. The rest of the club's made up by a primary list, a Category A rookie list. You get 6 maximum of those, and then you get Category B rookies as well. So you got Category A, Category B. You get 6 Category A's, 2 Category B's. Category B's are international players. Think Ireland Gaelic players or something like that, or players that come from another sport. Just a different pathway. Okay. If you use these app, if you become a member of this YouTube channel, you can actually use this app for yourself. I'll be updating it as the season goes on and hopefully into the future. Okay, so primary list. I've gone the safest options first. So Nan was their first rookie pick this year, picked 20 of the national draft. Schubert picked 23. Dalton picked 34. And Leray was picked 56. You can see their combine jerseys there. All rookies, different sizes, different types of players. Dalton's probably smaller forward type of player. Schubert can play key forward. Leray, taller midfielder. Same with Nan. Nan's a bit of a swingman. Think Weddle, someone like that. Okay. Mraz, pick 35 of last year's draft. Okay. McCabe, another father-son. He was picked 19 of the 23 national draft. Still hasn't played a game yet. Bailey McDonald, 8 games into his career. 21, pick 51 of the 22 national draft. Silver trade here. Again, these are turnovers and clangers. I wouldn't read too much into that. Henry Hustwaite, 4 games out of him last season. He's out of contract this year. Sam Butler, 6 games out of him. Pick 23 of the 21 national draft. 5 tackles is pretty elite, puts him in the top 50, and 1.3 tackles inside the forward 50. So that's where his value is as well. As I was saying before, you probably want Watson to bump his up a little bit. Where was it? 0.8. Ginnivan as well. Butler's leading the crew there. So if they want to keep that ball inside that forward 50, and Butler's got a little bit more height than Watson as well, probably different type of players. Watson's got those electric highlights and things like that. But yeah, his value is definitely inside that forward 50 pressure. And Cody Anderson, pick 64 off the 24 national draft, hasn't played a game yet. Category A rookies, these are guys taken in the rookie draft. Ollie Greaves should have a rookie a combine jersey, doesn't just yet. Very good pickup, in my opinion, from Hawthorn. He was touted to be quite an early draft pick, and he just kept sliding and sliding and sliding. Max Ramsden, pick 6 of the mid-season rookie draft, 9 games into his career, another ruck option. Okay, so I'll show you them in a sec when we go through the final list analysis. Bodie Ryan, no games into his career, pick 46 the national draft. James Blank, pick 20 of a mid-season rookie in 2020, 24 games into his career. You got 2 list spots open. To my knowledge, they might have signed some recently. Okay, and then your Category B players are Matt Hill, signed on this year, and Jamie Henry, 209 centimeters, another gigantor. Okay, so there's your full Hawthorn. Let's see, hopefully I can zoom it in so you guys can see clearly. There's your full Hawthorn list that I know of as of today. Obviously, you got the two rookies, two open list spots for SSP sign-ons. We'll find out about that over the next 2 weeks. Okay, let's do a little bit of analysis for you. Actually, let's just get me out of the way here. There we go. Okay, so again, let's just have a look at the depth. So 437. The way these are calculated is basically what stats these little modules come up. Okay, so what contributes to that? So 437. So it indicates that they don't have much depth. Should any of the first 26 players go down, 17.7 goals is more than the league average. 82.2 tackles is more than the league average. 103 marks, so not much of a kick mark type of team. The league average is 118. Okay, hit outs a bit more. You've got a lot more taller players. Actually, some on the bench. I've only got Meek as the starting 23, and 45.8 clearances is about the same as the league average of 46.9. 14 players under 21. As you can see, most haven't made their way onto the field just yet. Okay, and then you got 13 players in the younger age group of their prime. These 5 here are going to want to start making their way onto the field soon enough, or they might be looking for a job. Same with these two on the emergency bench. These are the older years of the prime years. You want to start, solidifying yourself into that best 23. 5 players here, all old boys holding on. They've actually, established themselves and they're locked into that best 23. 14 players have played under 10 games. Obviously didn't make the best 23. Another 6 have played under 50. These 9 have played under 100. And these 6 have played over 150. 17 players are going to need to have a contract decision made on them this year. As you can see, most of them are going to be on the outside looking in. Mackenzie, Morris, Hardwick, Impey, Lewis, Deere, and Gunston will be the priorities for extension. Gunston, you'd think at his age, would be just 1-year prove-it deals from here on out. Again, Newcomb, the longer tenured player. If you guys want to go through that, you can go through those. Draft investment top 10 players. You've got 7 on the list. Most of these are not national drafts. That's a mid-season rookie. That's a national. That's a national. That's a national. That's a national. These 2 on the field were not. Okay. 3 father-sons. Deere, McGuinness, McCabe. No academy players. You got 5 short fellas under 180 centimeters. Dalton, Watson, Ambrosio, Moore, and Impey. Okay. And you got 5 big boys. Only Meek's made his way into the top 23. So if you wanted to give him a chop out, you could maybe Mitchell could name Chol, and then you're rocking with those 3 big talls. Yeah, they've got that option anyway. All right, so there's your Hawthorn list. We'll do a quick look at the depth chart here. Where am I looking? Just here. Okay, so these are your backs, these are your mids, forwards, interchange, and your most experienced players that haven't made their way onto the best 23. Chol being the most unlucky. He's played 108 games into his career. Mackenzie's 46. Ned Reeves 43. Okay, your ruck depth, you're thinking of who's going to step in should Lloyd Meek get injured. Your next best is probably Marbio Chol with 108 games. Ned Reeves is taller than Lloyd Meek, 7 centimetres taller. Roughly the same hitouts per game. 43 games into his career, so he's played about 2 seasons less. Same with key forwards. Lewis, Kalshadir. Gunston's already got his role. He's not going anywhere. Chol's the next man up. Will Day's not a key forward, so Marbio Chol if Kalshadir or Lewis goes down. Barras is the key backs along with Sicily, so the next man up. Scrimshaw will probably be the next man up on the field. Okay, or you could look at James Blank to maybe roughly the same height as Tom Barras. Small forwards, these guys are all found their way onto the field. Okay, and your pressure players that like laying your tackles are Connor Nash and Will Day, Sam Butler. Okay, and will get me hidden again. This is how the team has been made up. Okay, you can see Gunston forever ago was pick 29 of the 2009 national draft. These rookies here. Ollie Greaves is a rookie pick. He should have his combine jersey. I need to fix that. Cam Nan, Schubert, Dalton, and Larea, the new rookies on the roster this year. Okay, you're starting 23. As you can see, they've actually constructed their best team from the back end of the draft, which is pretty impressive. Most other teams you'll find are lower down on this x-axis, which indicates an earlier draft pick. You can see here Newcomb was picked 2, an early one. These are the players that were taken in the national draft, so not really many taken. Watson picked 5, Ward at 7, Day at 13, and Scrimshaw at 7. Okay. And that is pretty much all I've got for you today. Can have a quick look at the age, how you're looking for age as well. Okay, so age and experience, Hawthorn are actually the 10th oldest, kind of middle of the pack. As far as best 23, you're the 5th oldest team, Collingwood being the oldest, North being the youngest. Okay, prime age share is about 50%. That falls between that bracket. You can see here with that mouse over, between that 23 and 28 band. Higher means more players in the peak years. Contracts, you got most of them signed on. 6 is about average, about how many list decisions you're going to be making this year. As far as the full club goes, 17 is probably on the lower end. You can see Melbourne here with 21, North Melbourne with 21. Okay, and that's about it. I've got some other random stats I've baked into here. Who's been helped out the most with the various pathways? You can see Gold Coast have got 12 academy players, Sydney with 10, Doggies have had 5 Father Sons and 2 academy players. Hawthorn are one of the lesser assisted teams with only 7.1% of their list. And then you got Jack being the most common first name. Sam and Tom and Harry follow thereafter. Most players are born in August. And yeah, birth years obviously is indicative of all the older boys dropping off. That one player will be Pendlebury. This one player will probably be Walker or Dangerfield. Yeah, that's what we're looking at. Okay, so there's your best 23 and your overall list makeup for Hawthorn. If you guys like what I'm trying to do, I hope I didn't upset too many people with that little video at the start. I was just trying to shed some light on how Hawthorn go about their play. 5 high tackles in a quarter is absurd. You extrapolate that out, that's 20 a game, which there's got to be a world record. I'd love to know if anyone can find someone else that's done it more. Okay, and that was in a prelim final. It wasn't just a throwaway game or a throwaway quarter. It was a beat Geelong by 20 odd points or go home type of scenario. So you can see when they want to get going, they want to start looking for those free kicks, and it's a tough watch. Much like these videos, I know. Anyway. Thank you. If you like what I'm trying to do here, like and subscribe. Give us your feedback. Tell me how wrong I am. Whatever. And yeah, enjoy your day. Let's look forward to 2026. Cheers, guys. Bye.